Hey everybody, welcome back to the Sketchdom. My name is Jason Sketch, and I'm super excited to bring you guys some more Marvel Champions content. Today, I'm looking at the new article for Jessica Jones. That's right, we have more information about more heroes coming out this year. Super stoked about it. I hope you guys are as well. Jessica Jones is coming to the game. We've got a new article about it. I know I'm a day late and a dollar short, but let's go ahead and jump on down to that table. We're going to check it out and walk through those cards. Hey guys, here we are. Welcome down to the article. I know I always say go down to the table because it's what I'm used to saying, right? But really, we are here now at the article. So let's check out this article. It's going to be an awesome game, an awesome character. Let's look into it and just see how things are going. I'm stoked for Jessica Jones because Jessica Jones is one of those heroes that I fell in love with from the Netflix series. And I think just as a character in general, she's super awesome. She's also married to my favorite superhero, Luke Cage. So that gives her a plus up, a benefit, right? Anyways, you guys know how to read an article. I'll let you guys read the article. We're going to jump into the cards. I'm going to give you some of my opinions and my thoughts and just talk about what this character might be able to do. All right. This is Jessica Jones. She's a full recovery hero. She's a civilian, which is very interesting, right? She's in incognito mode is her action that she can do. Change to hero form. You cannot change back to alter ego form this phase, which is pretty cool, right? She's basically got a built-in ready for a fight, and it's an action, which is awesome. So you can flip down, recover, flip back up, and still do some hero stuff if you need to. It's really good. It's like not a ready for a fight necessarily, but a ready for a fight built in while she is in hero form, which is awesome. I really do like the art, by the way. Her just chilling there in her little office like, I don't really want to be here. It's got that Netflix vibe with the coffee and everything else. Very, very awesome. The hair down below. You know, her uniform, the way her little face at the bottom doesn't look too bad. Kind of weird that her hair kind of parts in the middle there. Like you get it if there's a neck, but there's no neck. It's just a head. I feel like you'd want to fill in the hair behind her there since it's long and it's connecting all the way around. But, you know, it looks good overall. It is a 6 hand-sized hero in alter ego form. And she has 11 hit points. Oh, magnifique. It's so good. The artwork just feels the vibes that you're looking for already. It's great. 22 cards to walk through. Pretty stoked about it. Now, you notice we need to put out the Alias investigation support as part of her setup. So what is that? It is the support card that she's going to have in play. It is a unique item place. So only one Atlas investigations can be out at a time, which is kind of funny because I think she's the only one who's going to have it. It is permanent. It is a location. Response. After a side scheme is defeated, exhaust this card. Place 2 evidence counters here. Then you may remove evidence counters from here equal to the villain's remaining hit points to defeat that villain's current stage. This is a game finisher card. I think that is so good. It's wild and it's pretty unique. But the idea of her being able to, like, she's disrupting the villain's plan by being able to screw with them by, like, I've got all the evidence here. I have now enough evidence to take you down. Is such a unique way to play this game. I really like this a lot. I hope you guys do think it's super cool, too. I just think it's funny when you think in the context of, like, Thanos, right? She's like, oh, I've got enough dirt on you, Thanos, to lock you away for a while. And so, I mean, like, that just in that context is kind of funny, but for the time frame that she's coming out, the villains that are coming out, it makes perfect sense. All right. It is a mental resource. Again, I find this interesting that it's got a mental resource here, so I'm curious if we're going to have something that's going to be able to play off of that being a mental resource at some point. So here's her hero form. And this is super cool, right? Because when I think of Jessica Jones, I thought her attack would be higher. But I really do like that her thwart level is a 3. We don't have, to my knowledge, I think Jean Grey? Jean Grey is the only other 3 thwart hero out there right now? Correct me if I'm wrong. Please let me know in the comments down below. But 3 thwart, 2 attack, and 1 defense, which is kind of strange, right? Because, again, you'd think with her being as strong as she is, the defense and the attack would be the bigger part of what she does. But having a hero that can do the threat removal, that she's going to be in a lot in Justice. Just a matter of fact. And I don't think that's a bad thing. Even then, if you do play her, cool. I play her in aggression. She's going to attack with these aggression cards, and then she can clear 3 threat for me as a solo player. It doesn't get any better than that. Now, it's interesting, right? Because you notice there's a star next to every single one of her points there. It's a gather evidence. So there's a response. After you use a basic power, place 1 evidence counter on Alias Investigations. So really, you're building a ticking time bomb. You have a boom boom built in your back pocket. Just, it's a little bit of a different boom boom because this boom boom's going to only hit the main villain, not all the minions. So, oh, that is interesting thought too, right? This is a response, by the way. This goes past guard. So if you have a guard minion in front of you and you still complete a side scheme, after a side scheme is defeated, by the way. So you don't have to do the defeating. After a side scheme is defeated, exhaust this card. Place 2 evidence counters here. Then you may remove evidence counters here equal to the villain's remaining hit points for that stage. That's bonkers, dude. You want to run with her with probably a lot of player side schemes. You want to try to get some side schemes on the table, but usually when you're at the end of the game there like that, it's almost easier to clear a side scheme than it is to clear the villain sometimes. That is interesting. I'm excited for this card. I think it's going to be a good game ender / we got to push him to the next stage. That's pretty cool. You can probably collect enough evidence that when you're playing Kang, right? You get that Kang minion comes out and you go, cool. Or that Kang second stage comes out and you go, cool. I'm just going to clear side scheme instead. And, oh, buddy, you are grounded. This is awesome. Okay. I did forget to say that she's a defender. Her hand size is 5 when you come to this side. So it's like an average hero. But 11 hit points is just a good use for someone, especially who only has 1 defense. So I like the flavor text there. These things rarely end well. Very cool. Breakthrough, which is this armadillo on a card, by the way, which is kind of fun. This card's very cool. It's an event card. Response: after an evidence counter is placed on Alias Investigations. Ready your identity. Shuffle this card into your deck. So, you can clear 3 threat. Play a 0-cost card down. Effective 1 resource. Clear 3 more threat. I like it. You can also ready to do some other stuff. Coming more, Jessica Jones. It's a response, by the way. Even if you play her in as a protection hero, for whatever reason you decide to play her in protection instead, she defends. You play this card down, you ready her back up. Not bad. I think that's pretty great. Getting a ready while you're in alter ego, or while you're in defending, is always nice. Super duper nice. I'm not a big fan of the artwork, though the art, because just the art style is very different. It does come from a comic book. But I don't think I'll be sad to see this card come to my hand. I think it's something you do want to kind of get through pretty quick while you're playing it. But I like the premise behind it. She's making a breakthrough with the villain, which lets her get a chance to ready back up again. Snooping Around, another 0-cost card, by the way. 2 0-cost cards that we've seen so far, and her kit alone. Thwart, it's an alter ego action, which means you can play her in alter ego, which is nice, right? Because you can still flip down, play your alter ego cards, and then flip back up and do hero stuff, which is really, really cool. I think that's going to make her a lot of fun, that you're going to get to do the action and more flipping back and forth. But you can remove 4 threat from a scheme and place 2 evidence counters on the Alias Investigations. Which means that Alias Investigations at that time, if you clear that side scheme, it will now put 4 on there. You discard the top card of the encounter deck. If that card is a minion or a side scheme, reveal it. Which is kind of nice because it gives you a chance to get more on the table to contend with and deal with. I think she will partner very well with Winter Soldier. That threat will never be an issue if you're playing both of them together. Especially with a card like this where she's drawing out minions. She's like, cool, I can kill that guy over there for you. Kind of nice. A one cost upgrade. I'm noticing, right, like it seems to be a trend with Echo and Daredevil and now Jessica Jones. The cost of their cards and their kit aren't that expensive, which I think is interesting if we're moving more in that direction of their kit cards are going to be less expensive over time. That's going to be really, really nice. And it's going to change a little bit of the way of how the game is played. Not in a bad way, because some heroes are just rich, but if most of your cards don't cost very much, it's not a bad way to play this game. So this is an upgrade, Circumstantial Evidence. Response, after an enemy is defeated, exhaust circumstantial evidence. Place one evidence counter on Alias investigations. Nice. So she might fall in the category when you're playing in an aggression. You kind of maybe want to lean a little bit towards that minion slayer identity, because when you're defeating those minions, you're getting to add more onto the more evidence counters onto that Alias investigations. Nice find. That'll come in handy, Daredevil. The art is really cool, by the way, where you've got three of the, and again, this is a hero art. Sorry, this is a comic book art. So we got Jessica Jones, we got Luke Cage, we got Daredevil, and we got Iron Fist. They are all in here. So I think that's a really neat piece of art. I think the style here is beautifully done. So super excited for that. Next, we have another upgrade called Stakeout. It's a tactic. Action, if this card is in your play area, attach it to a non-permanent encounter side scheme. So a non-permanent encounter side scheme. So it's still a side scheme, just not one that can be out there permanently. So like in the one with the Sentinels that we know and we're familiar with, that automatically makes one of the side schemes permanent. This card can't attach to that, but it can attach to regular other side schemes, which is totally fine. It's an action to do so. So this lives on your table, and then it does that when a character thwarts attached side scheme. That thwart removes 2 additional threat. If that thwart that defeats attached side scheme, place 2 evidence counters on Alias investigations. That's neat because you can play it down at any time. What I get curious about, right, is if you attach this, right? If this card's in your play area, attach it to. So I think once it's already completed, it does get discarded, and then you have to replay it again to make it work. But again, it costs you 0. So to circulate and find this card, it's not going to be hard or difficult to do. But it's neat that there's a way there that I can do extra thwart to remove additional threat on a card, which is super helpful. It's not going to work well with your side schemes, but it may help you clear player side schemes out pretty quick. It's not going to help you with your main schemes, but it'll help you with the side schemes or player side schemes, which is pretty cool. Not just pretty cool, but pretty cool. All right. I'm really liking it, and the art, by the way, like the gray and the blues coming around is really neat. I like that Iron Fist and her sitting in like a minivan of some sort. That's pretty cool. I think it's a really well designed card. Awesome. Leather Jacket. Jessica Jones gets it's a 2-cost upgrade. So finally we're seeing something above 1 here. So it's a 2-cost upgrade. She gets +2 defense, which is great. So now at the beginning when I was a little worried about her being a protection hero, she's just going to get that benefit as long as you get that upgrade down. Response, after you defend, place 1 evidence counter on Alias investigations. So now when she defends, but not just interesting, because you don't have to basic defense to defend. Right? There's some cards that may, for example, Hercules has his helm that you can exhaust. Is she going to get something similar to that? Or are there cards out there that I just don't remember that allow you to defend without having to exhaust your character? Either way, if she's basic defending, for sure she's going to be placing 2 Alias counters on Alias investigations. But a +2 defense for a cost of 2. And a cool piece of art, by the way. I like that. The leather jacket's really standing out in this piece of work. Really well done. Beautifully done. I say 10 out of 10. I like it a lot. The flavor text here is, Luke, does she own any jackets that aren't black leather? Iron Fist. Funny. Why would you want her to wear anything but black leather? I think they're wonderfully designed. So, and it fits her style. It fits her aesthetic. It is a Fist resource, which is interesting to see. Here's her attack event. Again, it's a 1-cost event. Attack. Deal 3 damage to an enemy. You may remove 1 evidence counter from Alias investigations to deal 2 additional damage, and for this attack, you gain either overkill or piercing. It's cool. So now it's not just racking up on there. You can actually, it looks like some of her cards are going to let her spend those counters to do other benefits. So do you hold on to it to be able to just to big you a big boom against the villain at the end of the game? Or do you spend some here and there to kind of add a little bit of a balance in the long term and add benefits? For example, you have a guard minion that's in your way, you can deal 3 damage to that enemy. You may remove 1 evidence counter and do additional 2 damage, and the attack gains overkill and piercing, which is not bad. I think it's going to be helpful for you in the long term, especially to break through toughs. That's going to be really, really nice. I think she's going to be a fun hero. I like the art here too. I think that's a very, very well chosen comic book art for her. And the text says, "You mess with the wrong lady, Jessica Jones." I like it. Another fist resource for the Count. 4K digital camcorder. It's another upgrade. It's kind of fun. I do like the design, or at least the premise that we're getting here, which is kind of just waiting in her car to record things, and it's 4K. That's fun. Because I don't think in the comics, or at least at the time that she was on Netflix, 4K wasn't even around. So that's pretty cool. Item, Alter Ego action. This is an upgrade. You can do this while you're in Alter Ego. Exhaust this card to choose a non-elite minion. Remove X evidence counters from Alias investigations, where X is equal to 2 less than the minion's remaining hit points. Discard that minion. So you can just poach minions off here and there. So even if you are drawing minions in with the other thwart card, you can just exhaust this and potentially clear that minion off the board pretty quickly. That is actually wild. That is so good. There's been plenty of games where I've been playing with other people, and we're bogged down with the amount of minions that are on the table. It's not that we can't handle them, it's just going to take time to make their way through them. With her being able, like, meh, we'll just get rid of this one. That's non-elite. It's out of the way. Now let's just focus on this other one over here. That's fantastic. You're going to have to be conscious and careful with your Rocket Raccoons and your Winter Soldiers that are going to want to take out those minions. But Thor can bring them in, and you can go, click, take a picture, you're gone. And I think that's a great, unique way to cycle through minions. That's pretty cool. I'm kind of curious. Again, you're going to be able to flip back and forth so easily with her. Are you really going to end up staying in Alter Ego for a good portion of the game? Or do you just need to be in hero form? Interesting. I'm really liking the design of this kid. I think it's really unique. I'm excited to get to play her as a hero. I was more excited for Luke Cage when they were both announced, but just the cards I'm seeing right now, I'm pretty stinking stoked. Calling in Favors. It's a support card. It's a 1-cost support card. Remove 2 evidence counters from Alias investigations and exhaust Calling in Favors. Search your deck for an ally and play it as if it were in your hand, reducing its cost by 2. What? Great. Good for you, Jessica. You're going to be a fantastic leadership. Are you kidding me right now? Some of these expensive allies are going to get to come in for 2 less? Play it as if it was from your hand, reducing its resource cost by 2. That means some of those 2-cost allies are not going to be completely zero. You can Moon Knight in minions if you want to for free. This is a great card. This is going to be phenomenally good. It means that she's relying on her team, but I think the defenders do that anyways. They're relying on other people to come help them out. For you to be able to find the exact ally that you need is going to be great. So if you're running something like Patriot, who's going to come in and protect you when minions show up, get a protection thing on him, you can call him in pretty quick. He'll cost you 1 to be able to play, and you're golden. That is so good. That is so good. That's such a fantastic card. I'm surprised you don't discard it, right? You exhaust it. You're spinning those counters, like we talked about earlier, but you're earning them so quickly, I don't think you're going to really feel the loss of those counters being gone. But it all depends on what your motivation is. So That's awesome. She's going to rely a lot more on allies, which is funny, right? Because Echo, we were looking at her cards, and they all have cards that were like, if you don't have an ally, you get this benefit. That's pretty cool. I like that you have something like this in the game. She's going to be phenomenally good. She's going to get played quite a bit, I feel like. And of course, we get to see her signature ally, Luke Cage, which, by the way, him going into battle with his yellow button-up shirt that's all ripped up and torn to shreds, with his nice shaved head and nice goatee, that is the Luke Cage that I remember. Now, this card is phenomenal, by the way. I remember looking at it yesterday when I first saw the article was out. I was at work, so I wasn't able to get to it as fast as I'd like to. It's a 2-thwart ally with 2 attack and 3 life points. Now, that is helpful, but you notice it has 2 consequential damage on both. Here's the benefit that he brings. His toughness. When he comes in, he's already got toughness. He can defend for you. Then, later on, you can, as an action, exhaust Luke Cage and deal 1 damage to him. Give him a tough status card. So good. So good. Oh, man. So basically, I see him being utilized as a chump block, a nice tough wall, piece of armor for you. But he also may come in and do like 2 punch for you real quick and then check back out. He's also going to help you defend your friends on the table too. It's a good card. I'm curious how often we're actually going to see him on the table. A, he's 3 costs. B, Jessica can take care of herself depending on what you're doing in the game. So, you may have skin like steel, but he's got a heart like of gold. Aww, Jessica Jones. I love Luke Cage. He's such a fun, and I like what Bendis did with him in New Avengers, and that's where I really fell in love with him as a character. So, it's a wild resource. I'm excited to test him out and at least try him a couple of times to see if I'll actually put him on the table. But he is cheaper than his protection version, which I think is great. The art's pretty cool. The robot in the background, the way he's smiling as he's going through and taking care of things, magnifique. I think we're about to jump into some of the Justice cards now. So let's check those out. Carol Danvers, Miss Marvel. I'm less excited now, but this card is actually pretty fun. It's Justice card, 4 cost, 2 if you play with Jessica Jones, depending on how you coordinate the cards and stuff. 2 thwart, 3 attack, which isn't bad. She's aerial and Avenger, so she's going to fit well with, again, if you play aerial resources with her and you play with Jessica Jones, she's coming out for free. Basically, it's going to feel really cheap to get her on the table. 3 cost, or 3 health points, and 3 damage and 2 thwart. So pretty powerful. After Captain Marvel enters play, discard the top 4 cards of your deck. If you discard a printed lightning resource or energy resource, remove 2 threat from a scheme. If you discard more than 1, you can confuse an enemy. So you want to get her in here. You want to kind of keep rotating her in pretty quickly as if you can. I'm excited for this. I think she'll play well and partner well with... Justice has gotten recently a lot of good allies, so she'll partner very well with Wonder Man. The fact that she's aerial and will help benefit her in there too, because of the lightning resource. And then if you're playing with somebody like Wonder Man who wants a bunch of energy resources in his kit, you're going to see that not only 2 threat removal, but also the confusion come in. It's a nice card. I think it's interesting that I can spend the same amount for Dazzler to come in and do Confuse. So I guess it's interesting that this one that kind of requires me to discard cards to gain that confusion and it helps clear some threats. So you can potentially on your first turn when she drops clear 4 threat, but I do find that quite interesting. So not a bad ally, just not going to be my favorite ally, I don't think. But I can see her being played in the long term by a lot of different people. So, Squirrel Girl. It's fun to see 2 of these leadership allies now moving into Justice, right? She's a 1 thwart, 1 attack ally. I think she's phenomenal because she's got 2 health points. She's an Avenger as well. Response: after you play Squirrel Girl from your hand, place 1 squirrel counter here for each card in your hand. A maximum of 4. So you want to try to play her when you're going to have a good chunk of cards in your hand, because then you're going to end up with a lot of squirrels. Then you can, as an action, remove 1 squirrel counter from here, remove 1 threat from a scheme. So you can have, basically, you're having a herd of squirrels go take on some schemes. It is an action. It doesn't say you exhaust, so you can have her come in, clear off 3 threat from a scheme at 3 or 4 threat off a scheme with all her squirrels, do one more with her own thwart, and then chump block for you. That is a significantly, really, really powerful Justice card. I see Squirrel Girl jumping into a lot of these Justice decks in the future. She is got some really fun art. I think it's a really fun design. You still get to see her little squirrel headband, and her squirrel tail isn't showing up in this one, but still her little bomber jacket and her little tiptoe, I think is the name of that squirrel. I like this one better than the other Squirrel Girl card, and that one got played quite a bit. This one is really, really cool. You just want to make sure that you're playing her at the top of your turn, not the end of your turn. And it depends on how many cards you have left in your hand. So up to 4 squirrel cards though or counters is pretty wild. At that value of getting 3 to 4, that's really, really good. Really, really good. 4 to 5 threat removal with a 2-cost ally. That's significant power there. So I like that a lot. I will be playing her and trying to utilize her as best as I can. And I can't wait until we get a hero pack for her someday. Strategy session. This is an event card. Tactic or thwart. Alter ego action. Choose a player to search their deck for a player side scheme and add it to your hand. Alright, so you can, in alter ego, you can choose somebody to find a player side scheme, which is great. I think we're going to be moving into some player side schemes here in a second. This card's so good because she's going to come with some of her own, and the rest, she's also going to come with some more justice ones and a protection, not protection one, what are these called? Basic one. And it's going to be helpful in the long term, especially with how she works with side schemes. You kind of want this card to run in her kit. I think this is going to be very helpful for her, and the way that she can go back and forth between alter ego so fast. It's going to take a lot more strategy in thinking of when do I flip down and when do I stay up. So, hero action, remove 3 threat from my player side scheme. So, you can play it on either side for 1 cost. That is so good. It's just for player side schemes, so you're going to see it probably with her and Cable and a couple of others. But I think it's great. Can this be used on Jubilee's side scheme? It can find the side scheme easier for you if you need it to. But can it be utilized to clear 3 threat? The flavor text on here is, okay, gang, I have a plan. Nova. It's a cool card. I like it. This is, you see the champions all gathering together and talking. I think that is a pretty neat card. It's kind of interesting that we're seeing them come back in some of the card art. Now, before we move forward, I know that we got a couple more cards. I just did think of something very interesting. I was kind of thinking about why is Squirrel Girl in this kit. I know that Carol Danvers and Jessica Jones are friends. But Squirrel Girl is actually Luke Cage and Jessica Jones' babysitter for their kid. So I think that's part of the reason why we're seeing it here. Again, I'm so familiar with Jessica Jones and Luke Cage being Avengers that it is odd for me that we're doing it via Defenders, but I think having an extra trait to work with is nice. So here's our first side scheme we're going to look at that coordinates with that card very well. It is Run Them to the Ground. It costs 0 to play. It's a fist resource. It's got Daredevil and Spider-Man on there. It's a really neat piece of art, by the way. I like that a lot. Victory 0. When defeated, resolve each of the following. Skip the next villain phase. Deal each player 1 face-down encounter card. The villain cannot take damage until the start of the next unskipped villain phase. This is a card that if you're playing a 4-player, you want your last player to happen on his turn at the end of their turn. And then it allows you to get an extra turn for free for setting up stuff. I think that's pretty great. Or to continue to take out minions and things that are causing problems. This is going to be a very interesting card. I'm kind of excited to see how you guys utilize this player side scheme. I think I'm going to want to test it out more in a multiplayer game, especially when they're like, cool, we're all swamped with minions and stuff and side schemes that are on the table. Do we want to clear this side scheme and reset and take another round to continue to hopefully make it out of this alive? I like it. I don't like the villain can't take damage part, but I think it's going to be helpful for a lot of games in the long term. It's a very, very cool card. 4 per player to clear it is interesting. So it is an expensive card. So something you go, cool, I have a little bit to throw at it over time. And then you really want to pop it when you need it to pop off. So. And in multiplayer, really 4 threat is not difficult to clear. If you're doing 4 times 4, which is 16, that's not too terribly difficult to clear. So. Yeah, but that's multiplayer, right? So. I'm excited to see how this turns out. The fact that Spider-Man's on there and the yellow Spider-Man can actually do a good chunk of clearing for this is actually super nice. So here's her own side scheme that comes in her kit. Piecing it all together, not piercing it, piecing it all together. 0 cost, mental resource, player side scheme. Sometimes you have to step back and look at the big picture, and it all falls into place. The scheme does not count against the player's side scheme limit, which is nice. That means it can just sit out there forever and not hurt anything. When defeated, the player that defeats it draws 3 cards. It's 6 threat, which is not difficult, but sometimes it's just nice for your Justice player to go, cool, and I'm going to clear that, get 3 more cards, and keep moving. This is a good card for any player count. Because you might go, cool, you need how many more resources to make that happen? Can you clear that threat there, and so you can draw 3 more cards? I think that's phenomenal. The feeding player draws 3 cards. Now, I can see the Jessica Jones player needing that for their own kit, just to make things happen. But really, if you're a good support team player, you're going to put this on the table. You're going to make it easy for them to get to, and then other people can clear it and get the extra 3 cards to continue to push forward. She is really well designed to head towards the end goal of the game. And I really, really like this about Jessica Jones. There's, like, for example, for Tigra, I feel like there's a lot of I'm doing my own mini game till I get to then help out. Same thing with Hercules. I really like playing Hercules, right? Hercules felt a lot like I've got to do my own thing first, and then I'll come and help finish things out at the end. Jessica Jones is very much, what do I do to get to the end game? How do I stop the villain from doing what they're doing? How do I beat the villain? I feel like this kit design is very focused on the end game. It's not overpowered in any way. It's just focusing on helping the entire table reach that next step to getting to the end game. Defend our city. Hinder 1 per player. So you're looking at one player, it's 4, 5, 6, 7 threat. But it's a player side scheme. Prerequisite, you have to be a defender, right? Which is nice, right? We're seeing a lot more of that. We have that evaluate threat. They did the same thing with the Avengers. I think there's a couple X-Men player side schemes that just require you to be an X-Men. So you have to be a defender for this one. So this is Victory 0. Defend our city. I do like this art, by the way. Just someone taking the time to do all of these defenders as it's just like it's being tagged on a wall. That's pretty cool. Prerequisite, you have to be a defender, victory 0. When defeated, each player may search their deck and discard pile for a team-up card and add it to their hand. At the end of the phase, reduce the cost of each team-up card by 1. Now we're going to see a couple team-up cards that she has here. I do think this is pretty cool, though. That means that defenders are going to focus a lot on team-up cards. And I think we saw some other heroes have some extra ones back in the box, in the Fear No Evil box. We'll probably see a lot more team-up cards along the way. It is about them teaming up and working together, which is interesting because you don't see as many team-up cards in like the Avengers who are supposed to be coordinating together. And the X-Men, we saw quite a few team-up cards there too. So it's fun that the Defenders actually have one that a player side scheme, which was introduced in the X-Force wave, by the way, X-Men wave, have one that lets them say, hey, look, we want to focus on getting our team-ups out. So this is pretty cool. So when defeated, each player, by the way, may search their deck and discard pile for a team-up card and add it to their hand until the end of the phase. Reduce the cost for each team-up card by 1. I can see this. This is good. I think there was an argument. I was listening to a podcast a while back. I think it was on the Winning Hand a while ago. But there's a talk of there are team up cards, but by the time you draw it, do you really need it? And it depends on what the team up cards do, right? This opens the gate and the floodgates for you to go, cool. I'm just gonna not worry about team up card now, and when I need it, I will clear this thing off to help us all get our team up card and knock it out of the park. So you're looking at some of them like the Gambit and Rogue one's really good. There's some like Winter Soldier and Captain America that are super good. I think overall, this card will help at least when you're playing a defender or someone at your table is playing a defender. See this on the table to help us get some team up cards to do some decent damage is gonna be great, and it's gonna make you want to play more team up characters together. So I think this is cool. I like it. I say it's a 10 out of 10 card. Let me know what you guys think. At least for the art, that's the 9 out of the 10 out of 10 for sure. So here's some team up cards we're going to see. Here's her first one, and she's got 2. Here's her first one, Unbreakable Bond, which we'll probably see in the Luke Cage pack as well. Team up with Luke Cage and Jessica Jones. Max 1 per deck. Hero, action, thwart. So you remove 3 threat from a scheme. Then heal a total of 3 damage from among Jessica Jones and Luke Cage. I like that you see Jessica Jones, you see Luke, and you see their daughter, who becomes a future Captain America in the comic book story. This is just really cool. Removing 3 threat from a scheme and healing a total of 3 damage from among Jessica Jones and Luke Cage. I mean, if you got Luke Cage on the table and you're playing Jessica Jones, you can use that to heal 3 threat, heal 3 damage on you. You can do that if you have him like the player, the ally, right? That we were talking about earlier. You get him down to 1 health point from the exhaustion, taking 1 damage for getting those tufts. You play this card down while he's out. He gets a heal back up 2. You get to heal up 1, and you can keep utilize him to help defend you as you need to. This is not a bad card just in solo play, but also in multiplayer. It's fun. It's not the most phenomenal, but for 1 cost, this is not a bad deal for clearing 3 threat and doing some healing. Now, looking at this makes me curious if Luke is going to have some sort of healing ability in his kit. Because we see the big threat removal here that Jessica Jones brings with her. So I'm kind of curious if the healing part comes from him. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see. I wonder if him recovering is going to add some benefit for him. So I guess we're going to have to wait and find out. Hope is that he does not play a lot like Colossus. I hope he's a little different and unique compared to what we got with Colossus and the tough cards. Second, basic event. This is another team-up card. It's an alliance card. It's not a team-up card. This is an alliance card. Interesting. Okay, so Joys of Life. Again, Jessica Jones with her daughter. Alliance. Choose an exhausted civilian alter ego. Ready a hero or ally. Exhaust a hero or ally. Ready civilian alter ego. So this is a card that you want to play on the table. I think this card really requires you to be playing in multiplayer. I don't see it working in solo. Let me know how you do this card in solo. But it is a neat card and interesting. There are a lot of heroes out there that have an alter ego of civilian that you can exhaust to help ready up another hero. Again, if you're playing a very strong support, Jessica Jones, her being able to flip the alter ego, play this down for no cost, exhaust, and help somebody else that needs that ready. I think it's a good card. It's not like the best card, but I can see it being utilized well with the right characters. I honestly don't know how I feel about it yet. I'm going to have to play this card. The rest of them I'm pretty excited about. This one I'm kind of like, feels a little lackluster. It's interesting. I'll give it that. Then we have 2 more Justice cards we're going to look at here. Grapple Launcher. This is a cool upgrade, by the way. I like this a lot. It's an item. It's restricted. Discard this card. It's a hero action. Discard this card. Make a basic thwart without exhausting, even if you are already exhausted. For this thwart, you get +1 thwart. This ignores the patrol keyword and any crisis icons in play. This is super, super nice. This is a nice card that you can play on the table. You have it there when you need it. Because you're going to encounter a time where there's a crisis icon on a freaking side scheme and you're planning on that next turn to doing a bunch of threat removal. And now you just need to add a little bit of threat removal in the main so you can get rid of the crisis icon. But you don't have enough to be able to do both. This card fixes that issue for you. This is a phenomenal Justice card. I like it. I like this card a lot. Last but not least, we have Entrapment. It's a preparation card. Yay, more preparation! Boo, that it's still injustice. I want preparation in other aspects. But happy to see more preparation cards, for sure. This is another part of the wheelhouse for, I guess, Jessica Jones, but mostly Nick Fury and our good friend, the Blackest of Widows. All right. So, Entrapment, alter ego response, attack. After the villain schemes, change to hero form and discard this card. Deal damage to the villain equal to the amount of threat placed by that activation. You have to be an alter ego, which Black Widow is in quite a bit. So Black Widow and Jessica Jones will probably do very well with this card. Force the villain to scheme. Change to hero form and discard this card. Deal damage to the villain equal to the amount of threat placed by that activation. So Apocalypse comes in with a scheme of 15. You flip up. You pop this off. Now, he's taking 15 damage for scheming so hard. You shouldn't have thought that hard, Apocalypse. You shouldn't have thought that hard. Overall, I'm super stoked for this. I think it's going to be a fantastic, wonderful hero. I'm looking forward to Jessica Jones. I hope you guys are as well. I think out of the three that we've seen recently, I do think Echo's on the top of my list. Jessica Jones, just even after this article and the cards that we're just seeing, I think this is one that I'm going to enjoy a lot because I'm going to have a lot of puzzle to solve while I'm playing this game, and I'm really excited for that. I think she's going to play super well. I think most people are going to really enjoy her overall, and I cannot wait to see what Jessica Jones is going to bring to the table. This is the hero that I cannot wait to try, and I'm hoping I can get just as excited about my main man, Luke Cage. But I've taken up too much of y'all's time already. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you guys think. And as always, my name is Jason Sketch. Next one we did Leaf Series next time. Peace.